Hi, I'm Liz Cook, and we're going to talk about safety and aseptic techniques. Some of the things that we're going to take a look at in this particular module are going to be general safety and aseptic techniques, which is going to include the use of personal protective gear, hand washing techniques, which is important, the use of laminar flow hoods, biological safety cabinets, aseptic techniques and guidelines for hoods and cabinets themselves, clean rooms, and of course, safe disposal. So, aseptic techniques are a sum of methods and manipulations required to minimize the contamination of sterile products. And of course, when we have a product that's sterile, we want to make sure it remains that way and doesn't become contaminated prior to its usage. Contamination can be anything from microorganisms or even particulate matter. Methods that are used to prevent contamination and steps in these methods must be followed explicitly in order to prevent this contamination. The following are some general aseptic techniques. First of all, let's collect our supplies beforehand, and we also need to make sure that we're checking any type of expiration dates that are on products. We certainly don't want to use something where the date is expired, and by the time we're already into this process having to step away, because then we do risk the process of contaminating what we are working on. We want to use only pre-sterilized needles, syringes, and filters, and remove all of our jewelry, even necklaces and earrings, things like that that could interfere. Think about that as you're leaning over, that you could have a necklace that could come in and interfere with what it is that you are mixing or creating. Rings themselves can cause breaks within gloves that you're going to be wearing, especially the plastic gloves. You can put it through, and if your ring has any type of sharp edges on it, it can put a tear in that. It might be necessary for you to put your hair back. Put it up in a ponytail. There are hair nets that you can wear as well. The use of proper hand washing techniques, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and making sure that we're wearing personal protective gear. This includes anything from gowns to hair covers. It might require a mask and possibly even protective eyewear. And we want to also make sure that we are wearing sterile gloves. PPG is also known as personal protective equipment, personal protective gear specifically, so you may see it as PPG or PPE, and barrier clothing. So it depends on how it's referenced within your facility. PPG acts as a barrier between infectious materials and other mucous membranes of your body, such as your skin, mouth, nose, and eyes. Remember that it could be that you're wearing it for glasses, you might have to wear a mask, so vital organs are going to be protected. This is done to inhibit contracting infection from blood, body fluids, or even respiratory secretions. All types of personal protective gear needs to meet specific performance standards for protection that have been set by the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration. Remember that you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting the products or equipment that you are using. So the hand washing technique is one of not just slipping your hands under the water and drying them off. There is an entire process that goes along with this. You want to make sure, first of all, that you have removed your jewelry and your watches. And you want to make sure that you got the water set so you're not going to burn yourself. But you're going to wet your hands. The next step is going to be to make sure that you're using enough soap. And generally, it's a liquid soap that you'll be using. And you want to lather that up well. So about 30 seconds of time. You're going to clean your wrists, your palms, the back of your hands, between your fingers, under your fingernails. And basically, it's going to be a scrubbing process and that friction. So as you're getting in there in between your fingers, you can move your hands this way so that you've got that. You're getting the back of your hands. You're moving, up almost to your elbow in some cases, depending on what it is that you're going to be doing. The next step, of course, after you get all soaped up, is you want to make sure that you're rinsing this off. You want to rinse it with warm water and be sure not to touch any of the sides of the sink and or the bottom of the sink. And then grab some paper towel. You're going to start to dry your hands off, or you could also let them air dry if you've got time to stand there and do this, which I don't think you probably do. But you're going to take that paper towel and you're going to dry that off. But then you want to make sure that you're still keeping everything clean. So you're going to use the paper towel then to turn off the water faucets, because you haven't done that at this point. You want to make sure that you have a towel in your hand to shut the faucet off. You're going to use that paper towel then to open the door and protect your hands from becoming recontaminated. Now, when you're using vials that have medications in them, and you might be using them for mixing different solutions, you want to make sure that you're sterilizing the puncture surface. This is going to be on the top of the vial. And the way that you're going to sterilize this surface is you're going to use an alcohol wipe. But you want to make sure that you use a new alcohol wipe for each surface. So if you have 2 to 3 vials, you're going to need 2 to 3 wipes. And you don't want to use the same one, because it could be that there's something on there that you're going to carry over to the next one, and in fact you'd be contaminating that.